Hey everybody, welcome back. I got a lot of questions, a lot of direct messages and whatnot asking since my endorsement videos about what do I actually use for drum heads, specifically drum heads. I guess since I did the stick bag thing, they all know I use Vic Firth 55As. So drum heads, interesting. In the last week, I actually completely got rid of what I always use and went to something totally, well, not totally new, but newer in the last few years. Any of the videos you've seen so far, I have been using on the tom-toms, Remo clear emperors on the top and clear ambassadors on the bottom. Emperors being double ply heads and ambassadors being single ply heads. On the snare drum, you can see I've still got this Mapex one on here, but I've switched out almost all of my snares to the Remo Diplomat fiber skin. I've been digging that. That was a Steve Smith thing. I saw him. He mentioned how on his main snare drums he really likes the Diplomat fiber skin, and I did it, and I have to agree. I really kind of like it. It seems to work on almost every snare I have. Bass drum was always a Power Stroke 3, Remo Power Stroke 3 clear with a couple of what do you call them? Patches, beater patches on there to make the head last a little bit longer. But this week, what ended up happening was I got really inspired. You're going to see in a second. I got really inspired by the sound that Dave Weckl gets off his kit. And so a few weeks back, he did a live on YouTube, and he was talking about tuning and what he uses and whatnot. And that made me decide to switch over to Remo ambassadors on top, the single ply on top also. So right now, what you're seeing here in the background, we have the Remo coated ambassador on the tops, and the big one though was the bass drum, because Dave, this is one I haven't used in a long, we're talking decades on bass drum. I've always used either the Power Stroke 3 or some version of it, and used, anything that has like a tone ring attached to it to kind of just weten it up a little bit. But in that YouTube clip, Dave was talking about how he also uses a Remo coated ambassador, just that, on the bass drum. He also has this cool tuning device that he helped Remo create. It's just like this tube, like this foam tube thing that's stuck in the bottom of the bass drum, and it's placed up against the batter head. And I was using that anyway, and yeah, it was one of those things. I switched it out. I was really skeptical because I know what sound I really like my bass drums having. And not only did I like the Power Stroke 3 drum head because it was beefier, it felt beefier. That's about all I could say. But I also liked a full drum head on the front without the little hole in it, without the port. But there's no doubt that Dave Weckl knows how to get a sound on recordings, and since mostly what I'm doing right now is recording things, I'm like, okay, we'll give it a shot. So I upped my bass drum. This is actually my 22. Every other one in all the other videos was a 20 inch diameter. This is a 22, so it's 2 inches bigger. And I slapped that Remo coated ambassador on the batter side. No bass drum patches, no beater patches. We'll see how long this bass drum head lasts. And on the front, I took my Mapex logo head, which is also a Remo head, and I cut out a porthole down lower right. I think it's about a 5-inch cut hole in there. And I'm telling you what, it's definitely punchier. There's no doubt about it. I'm not going to go into tuning and whatnot. I'm going to actually save that for a couple other videos where I talk about tuning tom-toms, tuning your snare drum, tuning your bass drum. But right now, I just want to let you know, this is a question that came up a lot in the last couple of weeks. Well, what actually do you use? So I'm still getting used to, not the sound, they sound great. As a matter of fact, I've gone back and forth between single ply and double ply heads before. And I can't sit there and tell you that I'll never go back to a double ply head, although right now that's what I'm thinking. These just open up the drum more, each one of the drums. I'm getting a killer low end out of my 16-inch floor tom here with a single ply head, and I'm loving every moment of it. Every time I get down there and it just goes whoa, and I'm like, yeah, that's what we're talking about. But I will go into actually tuning and what I'm doing. Right now I'm still what I'm trying to get used to though is how these record now. And it seems to be easier. I gotta rethink how I EQ and all that, because it's a different tone. So yeah, that's all gonna be coming. But yeah, as of right now, I'm extremely happy with these coated ambassadors, and I'm incredibly surprised how happy I am with that coated ambassador on the bass drum, because seriously, I hadn't put a single ply head on that bass drum on any of my drum sets in probably 30 years. I'm not kidding you. That's the truth. So yeah, it's got punch, and hopefully you'll see it. I'm gonna put a little video clip of me playing either at the beginning or the end of this. So yeah. What I would dig is if you don't mind, put in the comments section what drum heads do you use? What company? What kinds? Are they single ply? Are they double ply? Are they coated? Are they clear? What kind of muffling do you like on your bass drum? Outside of that little foam tube up against the batter head, there's nothing else in the bass drum, like nothing, and it's just punch for days. So yeah. Other than that. Please, as usual, hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. It really does help me out. Also, hit the like button, give me some thumbs up, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any content. And soon, I'll be doing a tuning video. That might be my next one next week, since that's what we talked about today is drum heads. We'll see how that plays out. But other than that, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend and into the next week. And we will talk to you later on. Take care, everybody.